Okay, let us divide up our coal a bit. Like so. And let's cook our iron. Already got some cooking there, so that's good. Do that there. And those there. And we'll just make sure that all the others have got coal as well. And I've got some left for torches. And voila. Okay, so iron. Now this is the situation where you sit there and you think, "Oh, do I use my iron?" You know, and I'm going to, because iron digs through rock faster than stone does. Also, iron shovels last a lot longer than stone shovels do. So let's see whether we can switch to a nice, an iron economy. So we will make ourselves an iron axe, like so, and I need a bit more. So I can make myself an iron sword, which is very good for fighting the mobs because it does a lot more damage than a stone sword does. About the only thing I probably won't bother making iron is a hoe. So there we go. I might make a bit of armour as well. I need all the help I can get when it comes to fighting these mobs. And once you put iron armour on, you're nigh on invulnerable. Okay, we've got 9 iron left. Actually, I'm going to do something really perverse, which some of you may or may not cringe at, but I do need it. Do I have a... There we go, a plank of wood. And a couple of chests. Basically, I want somewhere where I can keep my iron. So, I need to do that. I'm not going to waste that much iron on it, but I'm going to waste 9 bits of iron just to clearly mark where my iron chest is. To the point that I don't actually have any iron left. But I know I'll find more. Hello, spiders. Lots and lots of string. Okay, so how long have I been recording? Okay, I've been going an hour now. But a lot of that was digging, and that will be sped up or cut past. So I think I can do more. I think windows. We could do with some windows in here, so we can actually see outside. Maybe not very large windows, because, I think large windows would dominate too much. But, what if there was just like, if it was 3 tall there as a window, that might be good. Let's make it be daylight, because I'm about to chop holes in my wall. Okay. So it used to be, when you wanted windows, all you had were glass blocks, like these. And they're good for roofs, and they're good for like building mob stuff where you want to see the mobs, because it keeps them, nice and, it doesn't give them a ledge to stand on and so on. But a lot more efficient these days is the glass pane. So I take my glass blocks and I position them thusly, and 6 of these will make 16 glass panes. which is quite a lot of glass panes. Okay. So I'm just going to start with those. Put those blocks back. Now there's one thing I want to test before I get too far with this. It used to be you could get these back when you broke them. They fixed that. Okay, so I've got to be careful, because once I place these, I don't get them back. I can't not pick up the string. I see the string and I have to pick it up, which is silly. I mean, I've got an infinite supply of it. Maybe I should have an option, like a disposal option. So there's like some cactus down there or something which will destroy the drops if I don't want them. Okay. So, we need to work out how to do the windows. So, I mean, I think a nice narrow window like that might look pretty good. I do have, yeah, I'm going to get the wood that I'm from where I'm chopping. So, I mean, I don't want to go all the way up. I mean, I could just do that, but that strikes me as a bit too restricted because you can't see down. So I'm going to go with that. Put the pane in. See, I quite like that, especially because you can actually sort of walk into the notch, the nook, and the narrow bit. So I think I'm going to do that in each of these. And that. Let's make sure I grab that. This way I can see outside. It already feels less claustrophobic. Okay. I could put a glass pane there, and I think I will, because it's going to make it look a little more symmetrical. If I do that, and it goes nicely over the door, does it? Ooh, actually no, it doesn't, does it? Because the door isn't in the centre. I might replace that with a glass block, because it will look similar enough to those things that it will sort of make it match, but you won't get that gap there like that, which looks a little strange. I mean, with the glass blocks, the frame will be sort of level with the door on this side. Okay, so I've got two choices when it comes to this, and the fact I don't get these back means once I've made the choice, I'm going to be loath to change my mind. And I was looking at it earlier, so basically I want a sort of, a tall vertical glass pane going, sort of all the way up. Because I think if you look from the outside, creeper check, creeper check. Always run away from your building and then check for creepers. So if they blow up, they don't destroy your building. So that's quite a large blank face. So someone... Sorry, just... Oh dear. Thought I heard something. Right, someone made a suggestion, and I always write down who makes the suggestions. Dr. J. Brown 808 suggested, well, glass lines, windows in a glass line, sort of running all the way up and down. And I really like the idea of that, because I think it will break it up quite nicely. And a vertical line will emphasize the height, make it look even taller. And the finished tower is going to be taller because on top of that is going to be a glass observation platform that's probably going to stick out a good 2 or 3 blocks all the way round. I think it might be round like a cylinder. I think a dome would look a bit strange, but a cylinder might look good. So I could either have one running up the centre, or I can have two sort of out towards the edges, and I've kind of decided that I want to go with that one. So it's going to be, this probably isn't a very good one to judge on because there's this extra stuff here that I need to work out what I'm going to do with. So basically I'm going to chop out all the way up like that, and then that will be glass panes. And I think that that's going to look pretty good because there's like a gap of 2 there, and when you come to these edges there'll be like a gap of 1 there, and then there's 1 here. So it's nice and balanced, I think. You know, if I just had them in the centre, one in the centre, it's either going to have to be extra wide, which I think might make the whole thing look structurally unsound, or there's going to be this massive amount of wood to the corners. Whereas this way, as you go round it, it's always like there's 2 blocks, there's 2 blocks, and there'll be 2 blocks here as well. And I think that'll be good. So I'm going to have to I'm going to have to make that wood, despite the fact it might look strange on the stairs. I suppose I could always just make those wood as well, and it will even it out. But let's not worry about that quite yet. So let's fill these ones in. And one of the things I in general quite like about glass panes is the way they will angle and connect to any blocks next to them. So you can see that one's sort of done that. That looks a little weird. I might be able to... I might get rid of those 2 blocks there, and that would stop that happening. But again, that's something I can fiddle with later. Oops, let's just get this down. I almost put glass panes down. I would not have been happy, seeing as I wouldn't have gotten them back. Right. It's amazing how Windows turn a building from just a block of nothing to something which, you know, you start to interpret as an actual building, as proper architecture. I mean, you know, I can now see the view. Okay, and the stairs will just cut in front of them. I don't think that's a problem. So I'm going to start from the top because that's going to be the easiest way to do this. So starting with one of these we've already got. We leave a gap of 1 to the wall. Dig our way down. This is wearing away our iron axe pretty quickly. But that's okay. It's quicker than the stone one was. And it's doing its job. Alright, so now we're down here. Now I can pillar up on the glass panes. Like so. Okay, I'm going to have to turn around every time. Still, it's relatively quick. I'll cut to when I'm done, I think. Okay, and I've finished with the glass panes on the tower. And here we go. And I think the double lines, the double line of windows was definitely the way to go. I really like how that looks. I like the fact you can see the staircase spiraling up the insides. I just think that, I just think it works really well. So let's make sure the outside is nice and evenly lit, rather than these random torches I put on the floor. Oops, I did that way too high. There we go. I like that. I think it really does emphasize the height. It didn't look like it was that tall a tower, and the tower is no taller than it was, but it just looks higher, which I really like. Let's do something similar here. Make sure that when we look out our windows at night, they're well lit. Just put some on the side of the building a bit. And inside, I think that looks really good. I like that a lot. Now, I had to put those two there, so I'm going to have to do that in order to make it match up. Do I leave... I think I leave that stone and that stone. Suddenly, this here is looking bulky. I mean, it was sort of matching before, but now I think it needs to go away. So let's get rid of that so we can see out the windows properly. And I think we need to, we basically want minimum number of blocks there now. There we go. Because before I was trying to mirror this, the fact that we had this stepped thing going down, because it made sense at the time. But now we've got a nice, large, light and airy tower. We just want that to be nice and open. So I can just put my torch here. Keep the stairs lit. And I'll just do this. Now those windows stop further up because that's the level of the roof that's there. I think they would look better if they went down one more. But if they went down one more, then the ceiling in here would have to come down one more. Which might be okay if I replace this ceiling with glass blocks, which was an idea I had. So if that was glass blocks, then it could be only 3 high and it wouldn't feel claustrophobic because you'd be able to see the sky. And then those would come down to there, so rather than there being a 2 gap, there'd only be a 1 gap. And I think that would be a lot better. So I think I will lower them now already. No, I won't. I'm going to wait until I've got the glass blocks to do the ceiling in there, and then it should integrate pretty well, because suddenly the dome and that will look like separate buildings, but they'll be connected by the glass roof, and that's quite a nice design, I think, because I want my buildings to be connected together, but I also want them to feel like separate buildings. So if I make separate buildings and then connect them with glass canopied courtyards and walkways, I get the best of both worlds. Architecturally, they will look nice and individual and distinct, but it'll all flow together and I'll be able to move around nice and safely without mobs attacking me. So I'm going to have to think about lighting in here. Again, I could have like a chandelier drop down the middle and have spurs coming off. I need lightstone at some point. I need to get to the nether. Okay. Well, I think we'll end this with me climbing the tower. So you can look down into it. Well, thanks for watching, guys. We now have somewhere that's really nice to look at stuff. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.